Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a pretty radical idea from the philosopher Autry Prashant. What if the very thing we're all chasing, the thing we think will finally bring us happiness, is actually the source of all our suffering? This one is going to challenge just about everything you think you know about finding peace. Let's just jump right in with a question that hits at the very heart of modern life. I mean, think about it. We have endless choices: what to stream, what to buy, who to follow online. But does all this choice actually make us happy? Or does it just leave us feeling more restless, maybe even more empty than ever before? So, to really unpack this, here's the path we're going to take. First, we'll look at the symptoms of this modern ache. Then, we'll explore why our typical fixes don't seem to work. After that, we'll get to the real diagnosis, the root of the problem, and then explore a totally different kind of solution. And finally, what it might actually look like to be free. All right, let's start with the symptoms. That nagging feeling, you know the one, that sense of dissatisfaction that just seems to follow us around, no matter how much we do or how much we get. The core idea here is that the very things that promise to make us happy, the internet, consumer culture, endless entertainment, are actually just fueling our restlessness. This constant flood of options keeps us in a state of, well, perpetual dissatisfaction. And this endless chase for the next hit of happiness, there's a name for it: the hedonic fallacy. It's this deep-seated, mistaken belief that if we just get that promotion or buy that car or binge watch that next series, then we'll finally be content. But we've all been there, right? The feeling is temporary, and we're left with that same old emptiness. Okay, so when the material world lets us down, it's pretty natural to turn towards spirituality. But are we actually finding a real solution, or are we just trading one hamster wheel for another? This slide just lays it out so perfectly. We fall into this trap where we think we're leaving the material hustle behind, but really, we're just creating a spiritual hustle. We swap corporate goals for enlightenment goals. We trade regular consumerism for spiritual consumerism. It's the exact same game, just dressed up in different clothes. And here's the absolute key. Whether we're chasing a promotion or so-called enlightenment, we are still looking for answers outside of ourselves. We're always looking for the next product, the next workshop, the next guru, basically anything to avoid the real work, which is looking inward. So now we get to the real diagnosis. And this is where things get really interesting, because the argument is that we've been looking in completely the wrong place all along. The problem isn't out there, it's in here. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This is a radical, radical idea. What he's saying is that the problem isn't what you're seeing or experiencing. The problem is the seer. The issue isn't the world, it's the I that believes it's separate from the world. And this sense of being a separate I, that is what's identified as the ego. And the argument here is that this ego, this main character in the story we tell ourselves, is the true source of all our suffering. I love this metaphor. It's such a great way to think about it. Imagine your body and mind are like a computer's hardware and operating system. The ego isn't a program that's supposed to be there. It's a bug, a virus that's corrupting the whole system from the inside. Exactly. Prashant calls it a manufacturing defect. It's like a glitch in our code that creates this powerful illusion of being a separate self. And it's this very illusion that keeps us feeling incomplete, like something's missing, and always wanting more. So, if the ego is a bug, how do you get rid of it? What's the antivirus? Well, the answer isn't to install more software or buy a new computer. It's something much, much more fundamental. The solution lies in understanding this concept of non-duality. Now, it can sound heady, but the basic idea is that the separation we feel, me over here and the world over there, is totally an illusion. It's a trick played on us by the ego, and when you see through that trick, that sense of being a lonely, separate self just starts to dissolve. And this slide just nails it. The solution isn't about adding more to our lives. Not more beliefs, not more practices, not more goals. It's about subtraction. It's about removing the one thing that's causing all the chaos in the first place, the bug itself. And this is where ancient philosophies like Vedanta come in. They aren't designed to give you new beliefs to cling to. Nope. Their whole purpose is to help you question and negate and strip away all the false ideas you have about who you are, until all that's left is what's real. So, what does it actually mean to live a life that isn't being run by this ego bug? I mean, how does it change how we see the world, how we interact with people every single day? Well, for one thing, you start to see how sneaky the ego is. It is a master of disguise. It takes our deepest insecurities and rebrands them as ambition. It masks our possessiveness and calls it care. It calls our attachments love. We are experts at putting a pretty label on our own suffering.
And this is the real challenge, isn't it? We're so focused on fighting for freedom from external things, from our jobs, from society, from other people, but we almost never stop to ask how deeply we are oppressed by our own minds.
The implications here are absolutely massive. The idea is that the solution to our biggest problems in the world, things like climate change, isn't about doing more. It's about the ego doing less. When the ego and its selfish drive get out of the way, right action can finally happen on its own. And so we're left with this incredibly powerful question. If all the answers we've been searching for out in the world can only be found by looking in the mirror, what are we so afraid of seeing? The path to real freedom for ourselves and for the world really does begin with that one honest look.